know about what Zach Taylor said. I mean, if the Dalai Lama became available, you'd really have to consider that, right? I don't know. Anybody on the planet, it's pretty broad. Pretty broad. But, hey, the Bengals are doing exactly what they did last year. They were 5-4 entering the bye, exactly like last year. And even though, and this is so weird, they go to the Super Bowl. Usually when you go to the Super Bowl, you acquire on the back of your jersey a target that every team shoots for every week. You become the measuring stick game. You become that team where Denny Green used to say, everybody brings their A game. Everybody we play brings their A game. We have to deal with it every single week. When you're one of those teams that has that target, and the Bengals, to me, Miles, it feels like they didn't enter the season with that target. The Bills were the ones. I remember talking about at the beginning of the season, like the Bills had to be thinking, what the hell did we do to get all this pressure on us? We haven't even been to a Super Bowl in 30 years. Why are we the ones that everybody's gunning for? What about the Bengals? Go after them. And it's playing out perfectly. They just keep checking boxes. They just keep winning games. Yesterday was very impressive to me. They go in to Tennessee as 1.5-point favorites. I thought the Titans would win, especially with Jamar Chase not yet back. Joe Mixon out with a concussion. And the Bengals overcome this idea that the Titans at some level are going to want to get revenge for what happened in the playoffs, even though it's apples to apples, and it's really not revenge. I don't like that idea of, we got to get revenge. Well, why? What do? They come to your house and throw eggs? They did their job, and they won the game. There's no revenge to be had. But still, I thought the Titans would have a little something more. And if they did, the Bengals overcame it. I got to give the Bengals a ton of credit. I talked to Sam Hubbard after the game, who was part of the defense that shut down Derrick Henry, and the idea was we're just going to not let him continue to run the ball once he gets hit, because that's when he's his most dangerous. And they coupled that with a great offensive performance from Samaje Perine. T. Higgins had 114 receiving yards. Joe Burrow doing Joe Burrow things. Only got sacked once on the day after getting sacked 9 times in that playoff win over Tennessee. And no Jamar Chase, no Joe Mixon, no problem. But there they are getting to the ball with Derrick Henry. And the idea was, we have to get him to the ground when he's hit the first time. We can't let him run off of contact. And after that long play that we saw where he fumbled the ball on the screen pass at the end zone and Treylon Burks recovered for the touchdown, Sam Hubbard told me that the defensive players looked at each other and said, that's it, not another one today. And there wasn't another play like that the rest of the day, and that's one of the big reasons. If Derrick Henry doesn't kill you, you've got a pretty good chance of beating the Titans.
It was a really impressive performance in that they were just swarming Derrick Henry. So, I mean, to hear what he said to you about that, I mean, that's really the way it played out on the field. They did not allow him to get going running the ball at all. And that's why the Titans had to involve Derrick Henry more in the passing game, because that's their best offensive weapon. That's the guy that they know that they can turn to. And when Derrick Henry gets the ball in space and he's running with the head of steam, that's where he kills you. And that's what the Bengals basically prevented him from doing the entire game, aside from that long screen that ended up in a touchdown, because Derrick Henry fumbled and then he fumbled it into the end zone and Treylon Burks was there Johnny on the spot and he falls on it and it's a touchdown. But I mean, it was just a really impressive defensive performance. And when you have that on the road and you allow your offense to do its thing when it's missing its top guys too, that really says a lot, I think, about where the Bengals are right now and where they can go. I mean, you cannot count the Bengals out of winning that AFC North right now. And it sort of looked like at the beginning of the season, like, oh my gosh, what's going on there? They found themselves. They have been able to win games and now won 5 of their last 6. And I mean, I feel pretty good about them hosting the Kansas City Chiefs next week in that really, really, really critical game for what could have a lot of AFC playoff implications.
With Derrick Henry, for as great as he is, and he's the closest thing the current game has to Jim Brown. Some people get upset when you compare him to Jim Brown. Find me another guy in the NFL right now that would even be and I know that this may be sacrilegious for a Browns fan, but
I mean, I have one on the top of my mind. His name is Nick Chubb, and he plays in Cleveland. So,
okay, but I feel like Derrick Henry has been that. He's done it on a higher level over a longer period of time. My point is this. He doesn't have instant explosion. It takes him 2 or 3 strides to really get to his most dangerous point. So that's when you got to get him on the ground. He doesn't just, when he gets the ball, it's not just pow and he's gone. He's got that 1, 2, 3, and then he's gone. And if you get him in that 1, 2, 3 as he's really getting that body up to speed, that's when you have your chance. And that's what the Bengals did. And one of the things I said to Sam Hubbard, do you feel like you're being disrespected? And do you like it that way? And what he said sounded a lot like what we played at the very top of the show. They got to play us. We're not worried about the schedule. Right. We're not worried about those other teams. They have to play us. And, yeah, I mean, with the Chiefs on deck, that's an opportunity to remind everyone, to the extent that they're comfortable reminding everyone that they're still there and they're still pretty good. Again, I think they kind of like flying under the radar, because when you are the top dog, when you are the team that everyone's pointing to saying they're the ones we want to beat, they're the ones to watch out for, it's a little harder to operate. They've been able to operate on their own without that extra spotlight, but they're getting closer and closer to the glare returning to the Cincinnati Bengals. Because, last year, the way they did it in the playoffs, it felt like a rabbit out of the hat, one game after the other. Like, how can you replicate that? But they have something about them that, and this is Joe Burrow leading the way, they step up in those moments, and they just get it done when the time comes to win those big games, and now they're doing it as we get closer to December, and, it's fun to watch. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.